tight. Hold my baby squid, keep them out of sight. Talking about my life, government stay away. If you drive, I'ma do it my own way. Squid in the ocean, swimming all alone. Ain't nobody telling me where to go. Living free, gotta stay true to myself. No need for interference from anyone else. Squid pro quo, that's the way to be. Living on my terms, setting myself free. Mama to my baby, protecting with my no government intrusion. I control my life.
Hey everybody, it's Squid. Welcome back to my channel. I'm still toughing it out, doing whatever this is. So we are going to be on the struggle bus for a few more days, trying to make it through this versus response. And I'm still going to try to gotta go give her water. Here, Angel. Here, go. Okay. Love you. I don't know why we're having a fit. Yeah, someone's not happy. Oh, I look like a hobbit. So I gave her chocolate milk, and her chocolate milk is gone, and I think she's a tad bit on the angry side that her chocolate milk is gone. Oh yeah, she's mad. Thank you for throwing your cup. Do you want to go get a rag? Yeah. Sorry guys, this is happening right when we start. Angel, I have to go temper her temper tantrum, and I will be back in a hot minute. We are going. I love you guys. Thank you for being patient with me.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. We lay awake in bed, the glass so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, shout from the top. We're gonna be.
Thank you guys. Sorry about that. I had to clean up chocolate milk off my wall because there wasn't enough in the bottom of the cup, but there was enough. So when she went like this and the cup fell on the floor, everything shattered. I also am having problems editing that video because I suck at editing. So I'm going to be working on that. Life is crazy. I don't know. This week I feel like there's a glitch in the matrix. Everything is weird. I'm in a weird mood. I feel crazy weird. It's just a weird thing. Does everybody else feel weird too? I need a longer intro. What is the purple crown on my name? Hey, Zach. I don't know. YouTube started this XP thing. I don't know. It's a competition for chat. I don't know. See, I would have been fine with twins because it's 2 babies but only 1 pregnancy. So, and you got a friend for life. Ugh. I've heard it said that littles who don't have is a sign of high intelligence. Then I have a genius. Then my daughter is going to be a Mensa member. I did hear on the radio yesterday that there was a girl who graduated from Cal Irvine or Cal State at 10 years old, and she beat out her siblings who graduated at 11. So who knows? I don't know. Hey Zach, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Hates me. Chicken. Chain smoking Kermit the fat ass. I do it. I know Jim Henson is rolling over in his grave right now going, she does not sound like Kermit the Frog. But, I don't sound like myself. I don't know how people do this vocal fry thing intentionally because this shit hurts. This shit hurts. How do people talk like this, on a normal basis? No. So usually I can get through an entire document in one sitting. I can't, I don't know why that it's taking me so well. Never mind. Y'all bear with me. Thank you for bearing with me through my unbelievably, I don't know. I'm having to change up how I do things. And it's odd. It's very odd. And apparently I closed this document and I don't know why. So I'm having to look for it again, which I thought I kept it open. Hey, Flash fan. How are you? This is do Cameron for advice. 6-2 motion to dismiss. CLA. All right. And I knew as soon as Bruce hired Cameron Atkinson that I knew this Section 230 stuff was coming. Once I saw that he was the one who had sued Meta, so I knew this was coming. But I don't think it's gonna fly. I don't think it's gonna fly. I don't think it's gonna fly at all. It's so bizarre how he's making it happen. I am coughing less. I did sleep last night. I didn't even wake up when the dude left for work this morning, which is weird. And I'm trying to find the place where we left off because I had it highlighted yesterday and apparently I closed it. I don't know why. Usually when I know I'm going to stream the next day on it, I leave it open so that I can go right back to where I was at. But here we are on the struggle bus. Um, all right. Let's share it. Oh, that's all right, Tammy. I'm on the struggle bus and I haven't even started yet. So, did it reboot for you? That close everything? No, it didn't. It just, I don't know what happened, but I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't. I was watching a little bit of Shizzy's last night when I was cooking dinner, and he said that it seems like Bruce wrote this. But in reading Bruce, like, I love Shizzy, and I'd like to discuss this with Shizzy. Like, I'd like to invite Shizzy on my channel to discuss this because I have a hard time when Bruce writes something. I have a hard time reading through it because I'm always like, because my brain picks up on spelling errors and grammatical errors and sentence structure that just doesn't make any sense. So I have a hard time reading through things. This is better written, sentence structure wise. The grammar is better. Even the way the case law is laid out in there, it rolls off the tongue better. It's not so like, slapped in there, kind of like I don't know. The way Bruce did it was just weird. So I don't think it might be a lot of Bruce's ideas, but because this guy sued Meta, the 230 thing has to be all his idea. So it's, written by Bruce and proofread. I don't know. Hey, King Paco. I think it was a collaborative effort. I don't think that Bruce just was hands off and like said, oh yeah, you just write it and submit it. I don't have to see it. But I don't think Bruce wrote it and had his lawyer sign it. And the 230 thing, the section 230 stuff makes me think that. All right, we are going to get into this. Hopefully we'll finish it today. Matskin's statements of opinions and hyperbole are entitled to First Amendment protection and are not actionable. The First Amendment provides protection for rhetorical hyperbole that cannot reasonably be interpreted as stating actual facts about an individual. Horsley v. Rivera, 11th Circuit, 2002. This rule provides an assurance that public debate will not suffer for lack of imaginative expression. That's putting it lightly. That public debate will not suffer for lack of imaginative expression or rhetorical hyperbole, which has traditionally added much to the discourse of our nation. It also reflects the reality that exaggeration and non-literal commentary have become an integral part of social discourse. To determine whether a statement is protected rhetorical hyperbole, the 11th Circuit has instructed courts to consider the circumstances in which the statement was expressed. Courts typically look for the sort of loose, figurative language that no reasonable person believed presented facts. Horsley itself sheds some light on where the line is. On a TV talk show, a pro-life advocate accused TV host Geraldo Rivera of being an accomplice to the homicide of aborted babies in the U.S. The 11th Circuit held that the accusation was protected hyperbole because it was figurative, not literal. Likewise, the First Amendment protects the statements of pure opinion. Turner v. Wells, 11th Circuit, 2018. Florida law establishes that pure opinion exists when the defendant makes a comment or opinion based on facts which are set forth in the publication or which are otherwise known or available to the reader or listener as a member of the public. Mixed expression of opinion occurs when an opinion or comment is made which is based on facts regarding the plaintiff or his conduct that have not been stated in the publication assumed to exist by the parties to the communication. Courts should also consider whether an expression of opinion is capable of bearing a defamatory meaning because it may reasonably be understood to apply the insertion of undisclosed facts that justify the expressed opinion about a plaintiff or his conduct. Turner provides some guidance as to where this line is. It considered statements by a law firm in a reported investigating Miami Dolphins personnel for their involvement in a hazing scandal. For instance, Turner found that a statement that Coach James Turner participated in homophobic taunting of a player was an opinion based on subjective assessment of Coach Turner's conduct and could not readily be proven true or false. Oh, here we go. How are you going to connect that to this? Here we go. Section 230 is meant to hold a harmless the bigwigs such as YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, etc., not the end user. Someone put in jail for suggesting to someone to unaliving themselves, and they did. Yeah. Section 230 is a debate for Section 230 is a debate for itself. It's an interesting conundrum in itself. I don't know. And she took my glasses, so I don't know where my glasses went because they were sitting right here. The little took my glasses. Hey, Angel Butt, what'd you do with my glasses? Yeah. Well. Yep, she took them. I know if I can't get money for these crowns, they're all they are is a bunch of numbers. Yeah, pretty much. It's a popularity contest. Or how much do you talk? In this case, the plaintiffs have alleged that a slew of comments made by Matskin are false and actionable. Those statements include, Jeremy Hales gave me a nickname with anti-Semitic tinge. Jeremy Hale's storylines involving the neighbors are fake. Fox and that umbrella guy profit from Hale's cyber stalking under the guise of journalism. Jeremy Hales is a public stalker of private victims. Jeremy Hales has fabricated storylines using innocent, powerless people. Lives to sell entertainment for profit. I can't say how I heard, but rumor is JH only has one. Yeah. 230 can protect the end user, but it mostly meant to protect the platform. That being said, what you say can still be defamatory and have consequences. Yeah. And I personally, I haven't actually read 230 since 2019, 2020. So I am unfamiliar with the precise language of 230. So I will not speak on it because I cannot remember specifically what it says. But I was not surprised when I saw it brought up here. Yeah. What's the source of this? JH has one testicle thing. Sorry, that's just funny. Jeremy Hales is a homophobe who's going around on video, threatening people and calling them such names. Jeremy Hales is that. We're not going to say it again. And we've seen all these, and I'm sick of reading these things over and over again. Each of these statements, regardless of whether they're distasteful to Hales or anyone, is a statement of Matskin's opinion of the plaintiffs and their conduct. Others, such as Matskin's bold comment, are hyperbolic irony that express Matskin's opinion as to just weak the plaintiffs have acted by becoming enamored with his clients. All of the discovery in the world will yield nothing that will prove them true or false because they are unquestionably Matskin's opinions. As such, the First Amendment prevents, but he's presented them as facts. He's presented them as facts. And some of those are crimes. So therefore, I mean, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, where's bad duck when you need him? As such, the First Amendment prevents the plaintiffs from making them actionable and requires the dismissal of any claims predicated on them. All right. G, the plaintiffs have made themselves public figures for First Amendment purposes and fail to allege facts to show that Matskin spoke with actual malice. The First Amendment mandates a distinction between private individuals and public figures in state tort actions. Loyler Inc. versus Peterson Publishing. In state tort actions alleging false statements, public figures must show that the statements were made with actual malice. Thus, at the pleading stage, a public figure, plaintiffs must allege facts sufficient to give rise to a reasonable inference that if the false statement was made with knowledge that it was false or reckless disregard to whether it was false or not. Turner held that when plaintiff chooses to put himself in the public arena, he makes himself a public figure. I guess that would make me a public figure. Recounting how Coach Turner participated in TV shows and interviews that showcased his coaching style and coaching philosophy. This is particularly true when a plaintiff plays a prominent role in a public legal dispute. See Freegood versus Peters Publishing Company, Florida District Court of Appeals, 1988. Public figures falls into two categories, general or limited. General public figures are individuals who, by reason of fame or notoriety in a community, will in all cases be required to prove actual malice. Limited public figures, on the other hand, are individuals who have thrust themselves forward in a particular public controversy. Phrasing. And are therefore required to prove actual malice only in regard to certain issues. Matskin submits that the plaintiffs have made themselves general public figures. The plaintiffs have alleged that their business is centered around open video diary of Jeremy Hale's life. They've also alleged that their effort is to promote this open video diary of Hale's life, gain them over 730,000 YouTube subscribers and 327,000 Facebook followers. In sum, they have placed their lives in the public sphere and have amassed a sizable and lucrative following because of it. As such, they must allege actual malice in all cases. Okay? Oh yeah, I meant to tell you, Bad Duck has been coming into AJ's chat a lot. I think she's used to him by now. Where has he been? He hasn't been in my chat. I feel neglected. If you see him, tell him I'm feeling neglected. Assuming arguendo. Gentle, 2 hands. Thank you. This is Mommy's chocolate milk. You know this is Mommy's chocolate milk, right?
No, please.
You want to come up here?
Why?
You want to read? You want to read Bubbles' junk? Oh, okay. I love you. I love you. Excuse you, ma'am. I love you. Thank you. Assuming you didn't get him in trouble. Hey, Spire. How are you? This case is the case that keeps on giving. It's like herpes. You want this? Have a kiss. Mwah. Love you. What do you want? You want ice?
Yeah.
Go get yourself a piece of ice. You know how to open the freezer now. You're strong enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So under that definition of limited public, BBB would be 100% a limited public figure, and then 2 piles would be public. Yeah. This case is worse. Herpes goes away for a while and then shows up again. Oh my god. Oh, speaking of attempting to cook, for those of you who were in Ricada's chat yesterday, you saw him post or watch a video of somebody trying to cook scrambled eggs. I made a video of myself cooking fried eggs this morning. Should I edit it and post it? I titled it "How Not to Screw Up Eggs with Squid." I do want to see this case end, but I don't think this case will ever end. Assuming arguendo that the court disagrees, the plaintiffs are still limited public figures. The court applies a 2-part test to determine whether someone is a limited public figure for purposes of a specific controversy. First, the court must determine whether the individual played a central role in the controversy. Second, it must determine whether the alleged defamation was germane to the individual's role in the controversy. There is no question that the plaintiffs meet both aspects of this test. What does them having to do with it? What does them having to do being public figures have to do with it?
Mom,
He's long said that they have to prove actual malice. No one's saying that they don't have to prove malice. That's your limit?
Yeah. Come on.
Okay. There is no question that the plaintiffs meet both aspects of this test. Boy.
Appa. Hot TV.
The court may take judicial notice that the plaintiff, Jeremy Hale, has been one of the central parties of a years-long public dispute with Lynette Preston and John Cook that has bred court case after court case. The plaintiffs also allege that they themselves have publicized the dispute and their own legal actions. Throughout their complaint, they've alleged that Jeremy Hale's life and his participation in litigation with John Cook and Lynette Preston has resulted in a substantial amount of discussion of his life by other YouTube personalities. In other words, there is no question that there is a very public controversy between the plaintiffs and other people that the plaintiffs have been co-stars in the legal drama. All of Matskin's comments, as alleged by the plaintiffs, have all been directed at the plaintiff's role in their ongoing legal battles with Lynette Preston and John Cook. The plaintiffs provide no factual allegations to show otherwise. I beg to differ, but I beg to differ.
Hi.
Thus, there is no question that Matskin's comments were germane to the public controversies involving the plaintiffs. Thus, the court should find that the plaintiffs must allege actual malice. They do allege actual malice, you dum-dum.
Mommy.
We do this. I haven't changed my name.
No. No.
This is what we do all day.
Mhm.
Mommy, 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 mommy.
No. Mommy.
Plaintiffs have alleged no facts to show that Matskin knew his comments were false or that he spoke with reckless disregard for whether his comments were false. They've also not alleged any facts that would permit the court to draw a reasonable inference that Matskin knew his commentary was false or that he spoke with reckless disregard for the truth. Jabad. Here we go. Instead, their allegations point to a zealous attorney. The phrasing here is fascinating. Seeking to counter the plaintiff's public onslaught against his clients based on the information available to him. Yeah. She's learned your name. Mommy. We go back and forth, and she'll do it she'll go, Daddy, and we'll say her name back to her all the time.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Simply put, after 31 pages, you're going to finally simply put something.
No.
The plaintiffs fail to allege the facts necessary to show actual malice, and count 5 must be dismissed as a result.
No. Why? No.
If count 7 fails to state a claim upon which relief may be granted, in the alternative, Matskin is entitled to summary judgment on it.
No.
I think not, sir. I think not.
Why?
The plaintiff's apparent theory of a civil conspiracy as it relates to Matskin would destroy the sanctity of attorney-client relationships if allowed to proceed.
Why?
Both 11th Circuit and Florida precedent strongly counsel against allowing it to proceed. The plaintiff has also failed to allege sufficient facts to either show a conspiracy or allow reasonable inferences of conspiracy to be drawn.
Yeah.
Are you done?
No.
Under Florida law, a civil conspiracy is not a separate or independent tort, but is a vehicle for impute the tortious actions of one co-conspirator to another. Hawk v. Risman, Florida 5th District Court of Appeals, 1999. Thus, an actionable civil conspiracy claim must be based on an existing independent wrong or tort. Sorry, guys. That would constitute a valid cause of action if committed by one actor. Williams Electric Company versus Honeywell. The plaintiff must allege that the following elements: a conspiracy between 2 or more parties, which they've done, in my opinion, to do an unlawful act or to do a lawful act by unlawful means. I don't know, taking down someone's whole business, removing someone from YouTube, the doing of some overt act in pursuance of the conspiracy. I've seen that. The doing of some overt acts in pursuance of the conspiracy, damage to plaintiff as a result of acts pursuant to the conspiracy. The anti-what the hell's ecosystem, by naming it. Naming it was the dumbest thing they could have ever done. Naming it was the dumbest thing they could have ever done. Angel bug. Look at that.
Hi.
You want your FaceTime?
Yay.
Here you go. All right. Boy. Yeah, naming it was the dumbest thing they could have ever done. Yep. FaceTime coming from there. She's not going to. She's just going to sit there and run away.
Mommy. Oh, wake up.
Yep, Mommy might as well hang up. Ugh. Except he was already involved in what was going on before the court case started. There's that too. Like, it's just... It seems like this guy has little to no idea. It's yet another lawyer that got involved with no idea what he was getting himself into. And Taz, thank you for the $2 super chat. Banana fun. Banana fun. It's more like 3T clothing fun. Because we're starting to grow out of these. Oh, squid squared. Is that what we are? Yeah. I love you. It's just, it seemed like another lawyer that got involved and doesn't know what he's talking about. This also to me is like, okay, like for those of you who don't live in the U.S., the U.S. is made up of very distinct areas of the country. The Midwest, the South, the Northeast, the Pacific Northwest, the Southwest, the Plains, and Florida. Florida's like its own thing. Florida's a thing of itself. But you bring someone from... There's cultural differences that... It's like taking someone from Portugal, putting them in Wales, and expecting them to know all the culture. It just doesn't happen. Go get it. It's so I believe some of the things that are happening here too are not only the parasocial relationship issues, lawyers getting involved who know nothing about the case itself, but also the cultural differences in the U.S. Between like if you took someone from just a random person that's never left the state of Wisconsin their entire life and you dropped them off in South Georgia, it's a culture shock. It's a complete culture shock. And Taz, thanks for the $5 super chat. That was fun. You're just so talkative today, huh? I love you. Thank you. So it's kind of one of those things of like, I feel like a lot of the issues that are happening in this case are not only the parasocial relationships, but the cultural differences between the Northeast and the South. So there's a bunch of stuff that is happening here. You say a word in the Midwest is fine, but the same word in Florida is not. It's a horrible word. Yeah. This requires an express or implied agreement of 2 or more persons to engage in a criminal or unlawful act. I don't know, like saying you're going to take down his YouTube channel, which is his business. Thus, the conspirator must know of the scheme and assist in it in some way, which I believe has been alleged appropriately. 11th Circuit and Florida precedent bar civil conspiracy claims against attorneys acting within the scope of attorney-client relationship. Oh, good Lord. Oh, thank you. I need those. Thank you. Boy, they're dirty, but thank you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. You're so beautiful. You want to go get your pad? Oh my goodness. Hey, Malin. Oh, thank you all for hanging out with us. I love you. Oh, you sleepy? Yeah. That's her fake sleepy and she'll snore. Farisi v. Sher, 11th Circuit, 2003, established in the context of a 42 U.S. Code 1985 claim against an attorney. Attorneys cannot be made liable under a conspiracy theory. Okay, here's my problem with that. In normal circumstances, I agree. But what happens when an attorney goes on a podcast every night of the week for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and talks and has ex parte communications with journalists and other lawyers and a bunch of people that he's trying to involve, and if it's just this is a stretch. The mental gymnastics to be able to use this one. Simone Biles couldn't even get this done. If I were the judge, I would look at this and be like, no. Oh, yeah, then threatens them. Oh. Good morning, Shane. Yeah, the attorney isn't the attorney on the case. They're a named litigant. Well, I see where he's coming from. I see where Cameron, I'm going to use his name, is coming from. He was the attorney of record when he made the statements that made him a litigant. So I see that perspective. However, attorney-client privilege, we need to go back to Depp v. Heard and Adam Waldman being held liable for making statements to the press, and Johnny Depp being held liable for statements Adam Waldman made. Do we need to go back that far? That would be a conversation that everybody needs to have with Mr. Squid. So, Oi. Angel, no, that's my mic. No. Oh. Attorneys can lose their license for bringing fraudulent claims, and they know it from an attorney. Hey, Heather. Boy. The 11th Circuit held that as long Angel, I need access to this mic so they can hear me. Beautiful girl. I love you. But you're a handful. As long as an attorney's conduct falls within the scope of the representation of his client, such conduct is immune from an allegation of a conspiracy. But it is going on a podcast within the scope of representing your client. Is emailing other journalists about a mac and cheese case that has nothing to do with your client, and then getting upset when those journalists don't want to talk to you and lashing out. Is that within the scope of representing your client? I would say no. Oh, Heather, I do. She has my old my old blue Yeti, but she still she knows the difference. She knows the difference. I set her up. She has her little couch right here, and I put my laptop down, put my my old camera and my old mic down, and made her little a podcast setup. Took a picture of it and sent it to her dad, and she still wanted to sit on my lap when I started streaming. So she knows the difference in what works and what doesn't. It's funky like that. All right. Farisi stated that this immunity is broad and even encompasses an attorney conduct prohibited by ethical rules. In adopting this rule, the 11th Circuit noted that the practice of law... Can I read, please? invokes different considerations than those posed by intercorporate conspiracy doctrine. The 11th Circuit did not expand on those considerations, but the attorney-client privilege, the public interest in preserving zealous representation for litigants undoubtedly necessitate the stronger rule that it adopted. Florida precedent recognizes a similar rule. Extreme caution should be exercised when an attempt is made to hold an attorney liable for a wrong committed by his client by way of civil conspiracy cause of action. Black v. Green, Rose Cannon, Petrokowski. It's very Russian. Vlad explained the rationale as follows. It is recognized that an attorney acting under employment at the direction of his client in an illegal manner is not liable for the consequences of his client's actions. Thus, the question now before us is whether there is sufficient evidence in the record upon which the jury could find that the attorney acted illegally or beyond his employment in order to secure an unconscionable advantage against the plaintiff. The action of an attorney in a lawsuit frequently angers his client's opponent because the attorney, by his energy, often must advance his client's cause at the expense of the opponent. It's not infrequent that persons who have lost a lawsuit because of actions undertaken by an attorney on behalf of his client feel that they have been unjustly dealt with by the attorney. Such results are one of the unfortunate byproducts of the adversary system before the courts. Nevertheless, the advantages of the adversary system in securing full disclosure of the facts to the courts and such we must accept its disadvantages. But that doesn't involve going on a podcast. That doesn't involve giving your own opinions. That doesn't involve making statements that have nothing to do with the court case at all. Like that has nothing to do with calling the other lawyer names. Like, Randy has not gone on podcasts. Whatever you think of Randy and the disagreements I've had with Randy and his writings, he has not gone on podcasts and said things and used aliases and gone to other people. It's just one of those, like, and Duncan, Idaho, thank you for the 5 gifted Squid Pro Quo memberships. I appreciate you so much. How are you doing today? It's just one of those, like, he was doing all these actions that had nothing to do with the representation of his client that got him in trouble. It's one of the reasons that I feel like you don't talk about active cases. As an attorney, I'm not an attorney, but in my profession, I was bound by HIPAA. You don't talk about active patients that you're seeing because of HIPAA. If you need to refer to, like, if I needed to talk to, like, my mentor about a patient, I would give a diagnosis, an age range, and a gender. Other than that, I would try to leave identifying features out of the issue so that I could get help on how to treat them properly without giving who they are away. But when you're going on podcasts every night and talking about an active case, I mean, like, come on. There's reasons that you don't see lawyers talking about active cases. There's a reason why when DUI guy got sued, he didn't talk about that case. It's just, I'm getting over it. It's slowly getting better. It's been going on for almost 3 weeks now, though. So, yeah, he has never done that or attacked BBB's history, whereas BBB does, and it's like I said, I try to remain neutral. It's one of those things, if you try to remain neutral, but at the same time, you tend to lean towards the side that, 1, presents the better facts, and 2, doesn't personally attack you and go after you. Yeah. Do I have some issues with somewhat the Hale supporters? Yeah. But do I talk to them? No. Do I hate them personally? I just don't talk to them. Like, they don't come here. I don't go there. Like, we just don't talk. But, like, what the Hales people go, it's not pneumonia. My best friend does have pneumonia, though, but she's in a different state. It is, it is bronchitis. It is just sticking around. I am taking less medication, though, which is part of the reason that, like, I'm getting slower or getting better slower, it seems like, because I am not, when I was really, really sick, I was like every 4 hours I was taking Mucinex. Whenever I'd cough, I'd like, try to cough stuff up and like, to make sure that I was, using my Navage 4 times a day. I was using my inhaler at regular intervals. And now it's like I'm taking it when I need to, every 6 to 8 hours. I'm not taking as many things. I'm not constantly sucking on cough drops kind of thing. So it's not that I'm not getting better. It's just I'm not taking as much medicine because at a certain point, like, I gotta let my immune system do the work too. I can't just cover up the symptoms because every medication, even cough medicine, has side effects. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I appreciate you guys sticking around and and dealing with me through all of this. Because this is how this is how I help my family put food on the table because I'm a stay-at-home mom. And I do have chocolate milk so that I can get a little bit of protein, and the milk helps the throat. I do have I ordered a nebulizer on Amazon with a HSA card. I just need to get some treatments for it. It's just, I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to that. I still have the lemon on my desk from yesterday. I never cut it up. The little, there's teeth marks on my lemon. So, my inhaler that I have is just a Primamist inhaler, Primatene mist that you can get over the counter from Walmart. It's not an actual, not an actual like treatment inhaler. Duncan, Idaho, thank you. $5. Here's funds for approximately one can of bone broth. Bone broth is great. I love bone broth. I have that too. I get the ones that you can just heat up in the microwave because I don't have to worry about pouring it out in a can. I just peel off the lid, put it in the microwave for a minute, heat it up, sip it straight out of the can. That's great. But I appreciate you guys. Hey, Musi. I try to remain as neutral as I can because, like, I've mentioned this parasocial relationship thing, like, because I realized that I had a parasocial relationship, an unhealthy one with some streamers that I thought were my friends before I started streaming, and when they didn't help me like I thought they should, it's like that wasn't a them problem, it was a me problem. And it's like it's kind of one of those, like, it wasn't a them issue, it was a me issue. And that's kind of why I just do my own thing, but I also stay neutral. And I think my medical background is the reason I can stay somewhat neutral, even when my grandma was in the hospital. So I was my grandmother's in 2017 when 2016 when she had surgery and it went horribly wrong. I was her power of attorney because she was in the hospital that I worked at for 9 months. I was her power of attorney, even though my grandfather and my dad were still alive at the time. I was her power of attorney because I could stay more between the military and seeing people dying on a regular basis. My emotions and my ability to take emotions out of the equation were helpful in a situation where you needed to make decisions based on facts, not emotions. And some things, it's a fault. If in interpersonal relationships, I kind of don't know how to put some emotion into things. So with some of my friends, I don't know how to, and I come across as very like blunt. But in the same thing like this is like, I don't get emotional about it because I'm just, my background has taught me just to see things as you have to see things, because if you make decisions based on emotion, people died. Like in both the military and healthcare, like I was not a doctor, I was not a nurse, but like I still had patients where I had to initiate CPR on some patients. So like you had people's futures and lives in your hands. And if you made decisions based on emotion and you got emotional very quickly, people died. And that's not how I learned to do things. So I get very like analytical and not very emotional. And I think that's the only reason why I'm able to keep some sort of mental clarity with this, is that one, I have parasocial relationships with some of the people involved in these cases, but we're not actually friends. Like Jeremy, parasocial relationship, but we're not friends. Do we text on a daily basis? No. Do I hate the man? No. We're not this is all or nothing. Like somebody on Facebook, another Tammy that's been excommunicated, she won't even say hi to me in other chats. But I say hi to her all the time because I have no hard feelings towards her. But she tried to call me out on talking about this case because she doesn't even like Jeremy. No, just saying we're not friends does not mean I hate Jeremy. It means we're not friends. Like there's a relationship here. Like there's a difference. Yeah, can't think, just do. And it's that, like, I say hi to her and I swear she hates me, but that's why saying hi to her is like even more funny, because it's like, I don't hate you. I think it's funny that you thought that I hate Jeremy. She doesn't even like Jeremy. No, I wasn't getting into it because I didn't want to get involved in drama. But like I always use the lady at the grocery store as an example. I see the same people stocking the groceries at the grocery store, the same people in the checkout line, the same people that work at the cashier. Do I hate her? No, of course not. Are we friends? No, of course not. We're just, not everybody in life is friends. But that doesn't mean you hate people. So I've been able to maintain, I think, just my background. Yeah. I have what I think is a pathological desire to be seen and recognized by streamers I follow and just to possibly be friends. I don't have the extroversion or energy to put the time in, usually just the money. Well, and there's the thing. That's what I had too. Like, I use a certain streamer that I got, and I use a certain streamer, and I will not name her, but you probably know who she is. I'm not a mod on her channel anymore because I asked to be removed as a mod on pretty much everybody's channel, because I'm a horrible mod. But it's one of those things of like, I started my channel, and I was a mod on her channel, and I thought she liked me, and I thought we were friends. And then, like, we talked, or, like, we, she plugged other streamers and had other people on, and other people who started channels on her channel more than me. And I invited her on her channel, and she's to this day never been on this channel. And, like, I had this unhealthy relationship, and Mr. Squid mentioned it to me when I was talking about these relationships. And he said, "Why do you care?" And I had this realization when I was researching. And I was like, that's not a her problem. That was a me problem. Like, I got mad at her for something that she had no idea. And I think that's the root cause of a lot of these problems in these lawsuits are people thought that they were friends with Jeremy. And when they met Jeremy in person, and Jeremy didn't want to be taken advantage of by someone he didn't know, and he said no, and he maintained boundaries, they got mad because they thought they were friends. And it's like, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday because they were like, I support your channel and everything you do, and you bring up a good point. And I was like, it's a difficult conversation to talk about because I've seen it in myself with bigger streamers. That's why I don't talk to them. I have no hard feelings towards them. I don't hate them. I just know in myself that I think that we're friends when we're really not. Do they hate me? I doubt it. Do I hate them? No. But we're not as close as I thought we were because they put my name up on the screen and I super chat them, and they, like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this weird dynamic, and it's one of the reasons that I think that offline, like our judicial system, doesn't understand these internet issues because they don't have social media because of their ethics, and they don't understand these parasocial relationships, and, like, the life goes, like, you don't understand, like, they don't understand it, and it can be unhealthy, and it's very difficult to discuss with my chat because I love you guys in a chat. I love interacting with you guys in a way. But JKD Buck, I know I have a personal, like, I talk to you offline, but I'm sure right now, if I walked past you in a store, I would walk right past you and not know who you are. And that's not your fault. That's not my fault. That's just the problem with the internet. Or you might come up to me and say hi to me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. And that might offend you. And I think somebody got offended when somebody didn't mean to be offensive, and somebody got offended. And somebody really got offended. And this whole thing is spiraled. So,
Mama,
yeah. Trying to rationalize with people who subscribe to the flat earth theory. That's true too. Angel, did you spill water on yourself? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you spilled water on yourself, didn't you? But being a fat 48-year-old male is probably why I forgot burgers. That's true. Oh, Shirley, I don't. This right here. I appreciate you for your channel, and you can appreciate me as a fan, but that doesn't mean I'm not watching you. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of the thing. I will get with you about that. Musi. These parasocial relationships, I think, are fundamentally unhealthy in nature. They're completely one way by their very nature, no fault of anyone. It's a weird thing to deal with or think about. Yeah, it is. It's this, like, where's the line? Okay.
Why?
Hi.
Why?
Why? I don't know why.
Why?
So
Why?
they're one-sided by nature,
Yeah. It's why.
and it's hard to
Pop.
you know. Yeah, and people have this pick-me attitude, and I had this pick-me attitude when I first started my channel, thinking people should help me more than they should. And I realized it though, and that's when I kind of cut contact with people, and not in a bad way. Like, I don't hate any of these people. I don't hate anybody. That's not what I'm saying. But like, I just realized that I have to do it on my own in order to know that I've been doing it on my own. Where it's like, I don't want to, where some people have this pick me and they don't see it in themselves. I had the realization, and I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody else by having that realization. I'm just saying that I ultimately did. And now that I saw it in myself, I see it in everybody. It's, it's weird. Oh. All right. In this case, the plaintiff's allegations break down into two categories. First, they allege a small number of facts about Matskin's comments prior to his retention by Lynette. Most of these allegations are conclusory statements about Matskin's joining the plan hatched by Preston and Cook to take down the plaintiffs. They also contain allegations that Matskin sent an email on March 11th, 24, offering to comment on the plaintiff's matters with Lynette Preston and offering anecdotes from his experience in practicing law. The second category of allegations all pertain to Matskin's conduct after Lynette retained him on March 7th. Preston retained Matskin as a legal consultant to locate legal counsel for her in Florida and Ohio, educate her on federal and civil procedure, and assist her in countering the public onslaught of online bullying, targeting, and false statements against her by the plaintiffs. Thereafter, Matskin operated solely within what he was retained to do. Of course he did. Oh, yes. Oh. Well, I understand that for some people, the relationships online become their reality, and they believe that talking to someone online makes them friends in the 3D world. I don't realize it's not always the case. Yeah, that's the thing. NJJ and Papa 2020, thank you. Squid, just be you. Love that baby. I turn 70 tomorrow. Happy birthday. Spending with the weekend at my son at Fort Knox. He's changing duty stations, going to Germany. Ooh, going to Germany. That should be interesting. Is there any gold at Fort Knox? Oh. I've watched you on other channels, the way you treated others before you started your channel. That's why I'm here. Respect. And I've learned, like, I don't go out of my way. One, because I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm kind of lazy. Like, I got a lot of stuff to do. So I'm kind of lazy. In the sense of, like, I don't go out of my way to, like, be rude to people because it takes too much energy. And I don't have that energy. So, like, I don't want to be doxxed. So, like, Lynette, like, everybody calls her Lynette. You will never see me doing that because she has never personally done anything to me. Does that mean I like her as a person? No, not really. But will I go out of my way to, like, say something and change her name because other people do it? No. The fleas, they talked about me. Therefore, I will call them a name. But, like, it's kind of one of those, like, yeah. Squid, you have a good handle on what it means to be a YouTube streamer. I've experienced people in chat on streams that get offended if I miss their hi and don't respond. Yeah, and there was a couple people in chats that I no longer go to because some of the people got mad at me for not saying hi to them. And it was like, when I was in their chats, I was like, I have two screens. So I had, like, one screen up and I was watching the streamer. And, like, one side I'd be working. So, like, I'd be getting stuff done and I just didn't see it because their chat moves fast and that streamer has no that streamer does not believe in slowing down their chat. So like it's you know. Funny enough, she pronounces her own name Luna. But it's whatever. I just, but it's that, like, hey, Stats, how are you? Thank you for the 99-cent super sticker. I only talked about them when they talked about me. Other than that, like, when I shut off my computer, like, I have a 3D world to get back to. Like, it's, yeah. It's just one of those things, Like, I don't go out of my way to be rude to people because it takes mental energy that I don't think people deserve. One, I don't have the energy, and people don't deserve that energy that I do have. Like, I had brain surgery, y'all. Like, I don't have the energy. I barely have the energy to do what I need to do, let alone the energy to put, like, time and effort into people. That's why people, like, I've heard that people, like, talk about me negatively on their channels. Not a lot of people, just a couple. But, like, I think they're doing it expecting to get a rise out of me. It's like, I don't care because you're not getting my mental energy. Like, I know you're only doing it to get a rise out of me. And I just don't have that mental energy to give you. You don't matter enough to give. Certain people in life don't matter enough to give mental energy to. And that's kind of where it's like half this stuff I think would be solved if people just didn't give other people the mental energy that they didn't deserve. So it's just, it becomes a catch-22. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Yeah. Like, I'm nice to people who are nice to me, and people who are mean to me, I'll be mean to you once, and then, like, I'll just ignore you because I'm not wasting time on you because I'm never going to change your mind. And I've realized that people are not going to, you know what I mean? You're never going to convince someone who tells you to go unalive yourself, that you're never going to convince them to be your friend. So why are you trying? It's like Twitter. If you literally look at Twitter, people say stuff just to get a rise out of other people. It's like, why are you giving these people on either side of the aisle or either side of the topic, why are you giving them mental energy? They're only saying half the shit they're saying to get a rise out of the other side. I don't have that kind of mental energy. I don't care enough. Like, there are some things that my parents talk to me about, and I'm like, I love you guys, but we have different priorities on what matters because you are focused on something and you are putting mental energy into something that literally means nothing to me. Like, why are you, like, mom at work, my mom's boss is a thunder cow from hell. My mom's boss is a thunder cow. But, like, my mom's boss is probably a bigger C next Tuesday than Lisa. And she's racist too. But she's racist, but she's not white. She's racist towards people of my skin color. And I was like, Mom, why are you, like, putting any mental energy into it? Just ignore her because you're not going to make her like you. Just stop putting mental energy into it because she doesn't care. And all it does, when you put mental energy into someone who you're never going to change their mind, all it does is bring down you because they don't care. So all it does is bring down your light and make your light shine a little bit dimmer. And I ain't about that. Like, I don't have time for that. So that's why I just exit stage left. And y'all are like, when people are arguing in a room, I'm like, y'all call me when you figure it out. Let me know what you say. Like, it's Strangely enough, I tend to come in and go in the corner with my invisible penguin Fred and sit there until a smirky remark is needed. Kind of how I am. I'm just like, I'll just sit and listen. Yeah. No engagement. It's just, these people aren't worth mental energy. And that's in real life on YouTube. Like, that's not a dig at anybody. That's just some people literally just aren't worth the mental energy. You're never going to get them to be nice to you, no matter how nice you are to them. And it's like, all that it's doing is bringing your light and making your light shine dimmer. And it's like, nobody's going to bring me down. Yeah. Yeah. She's the other half. The first thing she said to me when I showed up on my first day was, "Oh, you're white." And I would have said, "Oh, you're a racist." I think Carl Jung gets into this stuff in most of our interactions. It's actually persona projection of ourselves interacting with sort of avatar, low-res representation of the other. Yeah. Carl Jung is a good, yeah. Brain surgery has an effect on our actions. My brain was literally so big it was falling out of my skull. I should do a members only Ask Me Anything. Probably this Saturday night. Maybe not this Saturday night because they're at Dollywood. So y'all, maybe like Sunday or something. I'll do a members only Ask Me Anything within reason. All right, Lily. Everything that Maskin did was within the scope of his representation of precedent, thus 11th Circuit and Florida precedent bar the civil conspiracy claim against him. Nice try. Nice try. The plaintiffs do not plead sufficient facts to show a violation of the Lanham Act or an agreement to violate it between Maskin and anyone else. To say that the Lanham Act is false advertising, the plaintiffs must show 1. The ads of opposing party were false or misleading. The ads deceived or had the capacity to deceive consumers, and the deception had a material effect on purchasing decisions. The misrepresented products or services affected interstate commerce. The movement has been injured as a result of the false advertising. Johnson & Johnson, Vision Care Inc., v. 1-800-CONTACTS. Because they do not allege that Maskin independently committed a violation, the plaintiff must show an agreement between him and someone else to violate the Lanham Act and assisted in it in some way. They do not. Oh no. Oh no. Call me if you need anything. You know how to get in touch with me. I hope everything is okay. Nothing that the plaintiff alleged shows that Maskin had any knowledge of a scheme to engage in false commercial advertising or promotion. Despite all of the allegations leveled against co-defendants, nothing indicates that Maskin knew or assisted in any scheme to engage in false commercial advertising or promotion. At best, the plaintiffs allege that Maskin supplied information to defendant Weeks about a deposition of Jeremy Hale. That falls far short of knowing a conspiracy to commit false advertising or assisting in it. Of all of the allegations against defendant Weeks, the plaintiffs do not implicate Maskin in any part of the alleged scheme by Weeks to solicit money. If you are the praying type or positive energy or believe in any of that, whatever God you pray to, pray for Roy and his wife. Roy, I am so sorry. Let me know if you need anything. Ugh. Ugh. That is simply not enough, and the court should dismiss the plaintiff's civil conspiracy claim against Matskin to the extent that it is predicated on the Lanham Act violation. The plaintiffs failed to state a violation of the Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act or any agreement to violate it between Matskin and anyone else. The plaintiff must show a deceptive or unfair practice, causation, and actual damages to succeed on Fair and Untrade Practices Act claim. Rollins v. Butland. Oh, that last name. A deceptive practice is one that likely is to mislead consumers, and unfair practice is one that offends established public policy or is immoral, unethical, or oppressive, unscrupulous, substantially, or injurious to consumers. Book World Trade v. Daughters of St. Paul, Inc. As with the Lanham Act claims, the plaintiff fails to show any commercial activity here or that Matskin knew about a scheme to engage in an unfair or deceptive trade practice, agreed to it, and assist in any way. As discussed at length previously, the plaintiffs also failed to show any actual damages from the alleged conspiracy to violate the unfair trade practices, and indispensable. All I can see when I see this is FUPA. No, his stream with me is not till 3 o'clock. We have 2 hours. And I was going to do this until 1:30, and I was going to take a break. Get the little some lunch. Try to get her down for a nap. And then come back with him at 3. So he's tell him not to freak out. Tell him he's good. I just got to make it through this because this is taking way longer than it's taken me to get through any document ever. Except for the documents that are like 200 pages. Thank you. And tell him my phone's somewhere around here. So I just messaged him, Gail. The court should dismiss their civil conspiracy claim against Matskin to the extent it is predicated on the FUPA violation. I do. Oh yeah, joys of home ownership. We have ants in our bathroom closet. They got into the cough drops. Not the cough drops in my desk, but they got into the cough drops in our bedroom. Like, great. Like, yeah. I appreciate the fact that you guys are putting up with me with this vocal fry. Oh my god, I do not understand how people do this on purpose. The shit, like, how do people talk like this? Like, how do people talk like this? It takes effort. Yeah, they're weird. I don't know. It's weird. But we have at our last house, the owners of our house had because in the South, it doesn't matter how clean you are or dirty you are, bugs are everywhere. Angel. Bugs are everywhere. And here you go. So we have we're gonna have bugs sprayed quarterly. So as long as you don't do vocal fry with an upspeak at the end of every sentence. Yeah. Ugh. Plaintiff failed to state a claim for tortious interference or an agreement to commit it between Matskin and anyone else. Matskin will not set forth again all of his arguments above as to why the plaintiffs have failed to state their tortious interference claim. Suffice it to say, those arguments apply with equal force to all the plaintiffs. What Matskin will take a moment to address is the plaintiff's fixation with Matskin's comments about creating an anti-what-the-hell's media ecosystem. The plaintiffs parlay this one comment into evidence as a fantastical conspiracy to destroy them. But their claims ignore basic First Amendment principles. The foundational First Amendment principle is that the remedy for speech that is false is speech that is true. Chain smoking Kermit the Frog. Ugh. I have spasmodic dysphonia, not as bad as RFK Jr., but it tires me out. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what I feel like I'm getting. It's exhausting. Boy. This does not strike me as a First Amendment lawyer. Like, this dude must have finished last in his law school class. Oh, this is the ordinary course in a free society. The response to the unreasoned is the rationale. To the uninformed, the enlightened, the straight-out lie, the simple truth. U.S. v. Alvarez. In other words, if the person does not like certain speech, the remedies to be applied is more speech. Whitney v. California. This principle walks side by side with the First Amendment right to associate with others for the purpose of communicating ideas and viewpoints. Roberts v. United States J.C.'s, 1984. Matskin's comment is in line with these principles. As his declaration indicates, he saw what he perceived to be an onslaught of distasteful cyberbullying carried on by the plaintiffs towards his clients, and he responded by injecting the counter viewpoint into the marketplace of ideas. I don't think that was the counter viewpoint. His comment about creating an anti-what-the-hell's media ecosystem spoke nothing more than creating a marketplace of ideas for Preston's side of the story about her dispute with plaintiffs. To infer from that statement that Matskin was building a conspiracy or referring to one would betray the First Amendment's protections for more speech. The court should reject that invitation and require the plaintiffs to plead more facts, evidencing a conspiracy to commit unlawful act, than a simple comment that refers to the First Amendment's promise regarding the marketplace of ideas. Because they have not pled those facts, the court should dismiss count 7 against Matskin. Conclusion. Finally, for the foregoing reasons, the defendant Bruce Matskin respectfully requests, that's your conclusion, that the court grant his motion to dismiss the counts 5 and 7 for failure to state a claim on which relief can be granted. Ooh. Certificate of conferral, certificate of service, Cameron L. Atkinson. Oh my goodness. Exhibit A. Declaration of Bruce Matskin. Oh, yeah. They found a new left fielder. 4-string goalie alert. Yep. They can't do that all by the anti-what-the-hell's ecosystem. We were just brainstorming. Yeah, sure. Yep. I'm not going to read this declaration of Bruce because I think we've read it before. Executed on May 30th. No, we will read it. Pursuant to U.S. Code 1746, defendant Bruce Matskin makes this declaration in support of his motion to dismiss the above captioned case. I am an attorney, somehow, duly licensed to practice law in Massachusetts and Connecticut. Are we sure about that Connecticut one anymore? At some point in late March, Lynette Preston and I came into contact and she retained me on March 27, 2024 as a legal consultant. My responsibilities were to assist her in locating legal counsel for her matters in Florida and Ohio, educate her on federal and civil procedure, and assist her in countering what she perceived to be a constant stream of online bullying, targeting, and false statements against her by Jeremy Hale and his colleagues. Colleagues implies that they work together. They don't work together. They're independent creators. Don't read it. Saves your brain cells. When I realized in late August of 24 that the Northern District of Florida did not require me to have local counsel in order to appear pro Hafiche, I decided to become counsel of record to Miss Preston and John Cook and Hale v. Preston on September 5th, 2024. Prior to being retained for these matters, I had no involvement with Miss Preston's matters to the best of my recollection. Recollections may vary. Paragraph 131 of the plaintiff's amended complaint references an email that I sent February 17th, 2025 to Whatnot. I sent that email in the course of representing Miss Preston and Mr. Cook and in response to an email from the plaintiff's counsel, Randall Shockett, to Whatnot Inc. A true and accurate copy of the full email exchange, including the subsequent email exchange between me and Attorney Shockett, are attached as Exhibit A. This is Exhibit A. Further, if the affidavit says not, I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America that the foregoing is true and correct. You notice he never said. Yeah, he twisted how he came into contact with her. And he never said how he ended contact with her. Oh. Yep, we've all read that before. All right, so that we are done with that document. We made it. We made it, guys. We made it. We made it in an hour and a half. 3 times. We're not having to do this anymore. Oh, now we can move on to other documents and other things and all that. So I will be back at 3 o'clock for to go over some ATC documents. However, I am going to send you guys over to Flux because Flux is live right now. And she is talking about or she is going through gaming streams. Let's see. Customization, redirect. Hold on, let's see. Flux. Let's see. Yep. So we are going to go over to Flux. Tell her I said hi. Y'all are great. As in the statement isn't truthful in this document, in my opinion, each person brought into this has been even more vicious, shown by the people making lists of anyone in chat seen as fair game. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just, people are taking the parasocial relationship thing means people take things so personally. And then when someone describes it, it's like a game of telephone. When someone describes it, they get more personal in the next one. They get more personal in the next one. Each person takes it more personal than the next person, which means they become more vicious. And then everybody gets more vicious. Ugh. Thank you, AC5. See ya. Thanks for what you're doing. Be strong and brave. Many blessings. Thank you. And I will see you guys later on this afternoon for an non-What the Hale stream. We're talking air traffic control and what the plan to update all of our air traffic control systems are. I have to go get the little one lunch and do mama duties and fold some laundry. And I will see you guys back here in a couple hours. Bye. Tell Flux that I said hi and I love her. Bye, guys.
Bye.